Hello everyone, back into today's video. Going to have a look at the weather for next week's 10 days. So today's video, that takes us to around the 28th of June. And we'll be able to extend out beyond that the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. They run to around a couple of weeks. We're going to have a look at Beijing Climate Centre today for the next 40 days. So that will be at the end of the video. It will take us more or less to the end of July. Okay, so I'll get back for you in a moment, just to shout out our latest channel member though. So I'm going to say a big thank you and hello. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member to Michael Rowe. Thank you so much to Michael Rowe for becoming a GavsWeatherVids YouTube channel member. That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Michael, for doing that. If you would like to become a channel member for GavsWeatherVids, all you do is come to GavsWeatherVids YouTube homepage, click the join button, take you through to another page where you can sign up and see what benefits you get for becoming a channel member. Still got a few channel members to shout out, as well as a patron and also a PayPal donor. So everybody's going to get their mates, everybody's going to get their shout outs in the coming videos, giving everybody their own individual video per day, and I think that's the fairest way of doing it. But it means we've got a little bit of a backlog, but we're getting through them now. So in the next few videos, with 10 video updates, everybody will get their shout out and their mention. Thank you so much, Michael, for doing that. Also, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet done so. We are currently sitting at 6,820 subscribers. Slowed up a little bit over the last couple of days. So we've got to 6,820. Now we have slowed up a little bit, so when we're still on course to do this 7K by the end of the summer, I don't know. I really shouldn't have set myself up for this target, should I? So we've still got a little while though. Got a couple of months to do it. So we shall see. But anyway, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, then please can you give us a subscription, and that'd be absolutely fantastic. Thanks so much to all of you for your support, and particularly thank you to Michael Rowe, our latest GavsWeatherVids YouTube channel member. Talking of YouTube, I thought I'd just start here. So this day last year, we released this video, and it was titled "Witness One of Those Extreme GFS Runs Ever." Can you remember this? Can you remember this video that we did last year? It got, on this day last year, it's currently got 5,429 views. If you didn't see it, I'll leave a link in the description with this video. So this day last year we had a very, very extreme GFS run that brought up the 25 plus 25 Celsius isotherm. And we've got it here on the thumbnail. I'm usually not very good with my thumbnails, but this one was a good one. I did get this one right, I think, this thumbnail. Look at that very, very extreme heat there coming out of North Africa and going up the western side of Europe. And you can see the 25 Celsius isotherm going into the UK on that chart. It did actually verify as well. That's the amazing thing. So that's for a GFS run, looking at the weather around like 10 days away. I think that's going to be around 10 days away from when we was recording the video on the 18th of June. This is the actual chart though for the day. This is like Thursday, 28th of June. This is from the historic archive of charts at Weather Central. And you can see we did actually pull the plus 20 to plus 25 Celsius isotherm into the extreme south and southwest country. Strangely, it wasn't overly hot with that, so we broke temperature records for the upper air temperatures, but it wasn't overly hot on the surface. We were bringing the air in off the North Sea, I think, and mixing the air up a little bit. So down on the surface, it wasn't excessively hot at all. Temperatures just going like into the mid to possibly up at 20 Celsius, but certainly nothing all that extreme. But aloft, it was very, very hot. And then, of course, we did it all over again a month later. We did it all over again on the 25th of July. And that time, we did have very extreme heat on the surface as well as aloft. And, of course, we got a brand new UK temperature record in July 2019. But anyway, I thought you find that little trip down memory lane interesting. So this was a video from this day last year. I will leave a link in the description with this video, so people watch this back if they didn't get to see it last year. As I said, got 5,429 views, so it was a pretty big video from last summer. Of course, it was coinciding around Glasgow as well, so always a lot of interest around Glastonbury as well. But anyway, I thought you'd appreciate that little trip down memory lane from this day last year. Right, let's move on with the current weather then. So this is how the CT is currently looking, centering temperature. We're currently standing at 14.5. It's 0.6 of a degree above average. That's provisional to yesterday. Provisional to the 17th. So we're not overly warm with this June so far. We may see this going up further next week, though. There are indications that next week the weather could become very warm. More about that in a moment. These are the 500 millibar high quantity flow charts from Penn State University for the next week to 10 days. We've got the ECMWF on the top and the GFS, which I'll look in a moment, is on the bottom. So 500 millibars is now in absolute high pressure, low pressure, up in moved around by a jet stream. Red and orange extrapolates high pressure, breach low pressure. ECM is very anticyclonic in the 7 to 10 day time frame today. You're going to see it in a moment. It has produced a very hot run, not as hot as the GFS run that we had this day last year, bringing up a 25 Celsius iceberg, but in its own terms, the ECM is quite hot today, and you will see it in a moment. So, ECM, high pressure dominating, winds coming up from the south. That's going to be dry, very warm, or possibly quite hot. The GFS is a lot flatter. So, look at this. The GFS has low pressure up to the north, to the northwest. High pressure is further south, and winds are coming in from much more of a westerly direction. So, yes, obviously that is that's a cooler, fresher, sort of flatter type of scenario. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. Next couple of weeks, looking at Great Malvern today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Great Malvern. So we can see it at the moment. We're quite close to average, but temperatures are going to be lifting up over the next few days. I'd say next week could become very warm to possibly hot, some parts of the country, and that does extend for quite a few days, actually, before towards the very end of June, beginning of July, those temperatures just begin to slip backwards slightly. Quite a lot of rainfall coming up today. It's been a wet old morning. That's going to be getting out of the way quite shortly. And it looks like going into a drying trend, actually, for quite a few days. So over the weekend, still a few showers around, but through to next week, we do get 3 or 4 quite dry days. Beyond that, it looks like we do bring some showery weather back in. It doesn't look overly unsettled, but possibly turning a little bit more showery as we move towards month's end and the beginning of July. These are how the temperature anomalies are looking. So temperature anomaly from the 18th, 26th of June, a little bit above average. Precipitation anomaly from the 18th, 26th of June, a little bit wetter than average still. That's probably going to dry out over the next few days. This is how the UK Met midnight run is looking. So for Sunday, low pressure is bearing down on us from the Atlantic with a ridge of high pressure sitting to our south and southwest. We go through into Monday, still looking quite unsettled in the north and west, but a bit of a ridge is starting to build across more southern parts of the country. And then through to Tuesday and Wednesday, look at this. High pressure really starts to take over with the UK Met. So by the time you get through to 144 hours, as far out as we can go with the UK Met, taking us to Wednesday the 24th of June. High pressure's in control. Winds are coming up from a south-southeasterly direction, turning dry and hot potentially by the middle of next week, with temperatures rising into the mid to upper 20s Celsius with that. GFS looks like this. So again, low pressure's bearing down on us from the Atlantic on Sunday, bringing wet and windy weather into northwest in particular. Through Monday and Tuesday, pressure begins to rise to our south and southeast, out to the north and west, still a little bit unsettled with some weather systems there. Through Wednesday to Thursday, high pressure then is taking over the weather, so the GFS, as along with other models, shifting us towards something drier and much warmer through the middle part of next week. Dare I say it, hot. That's how we look as we get through to Wednesday. Again, low pressure is out to the north to western country. Upper air temperatures are looking very warm. Thursday, again, this ridge extending through the country with lots of dry, fine, very warm weather. That carries on into Friday. Winds turning sort of southeasterly. So as the week goes on through next week, I think we do see the weather getting hotter as the week progresses. Moving up towards day 10, we begin to move some lower pressure in from off the Atlantic. That might suggest a little bit of thunder. Still a very warm air mass, though. And as we get to day 10 itself, possibly, again, just suggesting a little bit of a fungy breakdown. For the very closing days of the month and into the beginning of July, we turn cooler and more unsettled, so low pressure begins to come in from off the Atlantic, turning a little bit cooler and more showery. But even as far as we go with this GFS run, which is to Saturday the 4th of July, we still have this ridge down across more southern parts of the country. The GM looks like that. So again, low pressure in off the Atlantic as we go through into the weekend. So we'll be a little bit unsettled over the weekend. Into the early part of next week, again, this high pressure is building over to the south and the east of the country. That's turning us drier and hotter through next week. I think we could see temperatures lifting at least to the mid to upper 20s Celsius with that. Actually, probably to 30 degrees, because the GM is bringing in the 15 Celsius iceberg, plus 15 Celsius iceberg, which is usually enough to get the temperature to 30 degrees, get it to 86 Fahrenheit at this time of the year. Just again, the suggestion of a bit of a fungy breakdown by the end of next week, a fungy low over the country within a very warm to hot and humid air mass. And then moving up towards day 10, it looks like we're starting to try and bring some cooler and more unsettled conditions in from the Atlantic, but heights remain relatively high to our south. The ECM looks like that. This is a hot run with the ECM. I can tell you about it already, so don't be surprised when you see some hot-looking charts in a moment. But it is a bit of a hot outlier. But anyway, on Sunday, low pressure again in off the Atlantic, bringing showery conditions and quite windy conditions as well to the northwest. Early next week, the high pressure, the ridge from the Azores, starts to make its move, turning England and Wales dry and warm initially, still quite unsettled out to the north and the west. Then through the middle part of next week, increasingly dry and hot, with winds again coming up from the south. Upper air temperatures are rising, but plus 15 Celsius ice firm is getting close to southern parts of England. Into the second half next week, high pressure is maintained, again bringing lots of dry and potentially hot weather. 15 Celsius ice firm is down in the south, probably enough to see the temperature in the southeast lifting to 30 degrees, that's 86 Fahrenheit. And as we move up towards day 10, again we remain very warm to hot, possibly just suggested a bit of a fungy breakdown by day 10 itself, which is Sunday 28th of June. There's the upper air temperatures, 15 Celsius ice firm surging north, going a little bit hotter than that with the upper air temperatures to the south. So I reckon that will probably get us to 32, actually. That'll probably get us to 90 Fahrenheit for the first time this year. 32, 33 into the low 90s, definitely possible with that. Remember, the ECM today was a hot outlier. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Meteo.com. Heavy rain across England and Wales today. As that clears, we may spark off some thundery showers or thunderstorms as well this afternoon. Into tomorrow, showers more across northern and northeastern parts of the country, but tending to dry out a little bit as we go through to Saturday. For wet and windy weather comes in late Saturday through sunny. That rain is fizzling out though in the southeast. And then next week the trend is increasingly to dry weather for England and Wales. There will still be rain at times, especially through the early part of the week in the north and west, but increasingly next week we shift to drier and hotter conditions, and a lot of dry and hot weather there for several days for the second half of next week. Just by day 10, the suggestion of a thundery breakdowns and thunderstorms coming into the southwest. This is the option that's on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10 via the Icelandic Met Office. Only 51 out of 51 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure to the east and to the west. Some weaker pressure just here, drawing up hot air from the south. So most of these ECM ensemble members must be going hot, like days 5 to 10. But probably not quite as hot as the operational run does go. But nevertheless, most of these ECM runs suggesting quite hot weather, maybe a fungy breakdown by day 10. In 2 weeks' time, looking rather different. This is for the 3rd of July, looking cooler, showery, and more unsettled then, with low pressure to our northeast and bringing in much more of a northwesterly wind. Finally, the Beijing Climate Centre, so these are 500 millibar heights broken down to 10-day periods. The first 10-day period will take us from the 21st to the 30th of June. The coming 10 days has low pressure out to the northwest, high pressure to our east. We come over here, we can see it over Scandinavia. So it is a bit more unsettled, but we also know that we're going to be drawing up those winds from the south at times, so quite warm. We go through to the next 10-day period, and the high pressure then from the 1st to the 10th of July, high pressure then builds up from the south, jet stream pushes northwards, turning dry and warm through that first 10 days of July. The next 10-day period is the 11th to the 20th of July. Again, high pressure sitting over to the south country, low pressure up to the north. So maybe a bit more unsettled with that, especially for the north, a little bit more showery, but most places dry and very warm with that one. No real problems for the next 10-day period either. This is the 21st to the 30th of July. Again, above average heights, high pressure sitting from the Atlantic through the UK. Low pressures up to the north, jet streams to the north. Lots of dry weather and potentially very warm. I'm not sure the high pressure ever really gets into a position to produce real heat with that run from the Beijing climate centre. I'm not sure it's particularly hot, but certainly with that comes off, there's many days through July that are warm, probably quite dry and very pleasant. So July shaping up to be a very pleasant month overall if that run from Beijing climate centre comes off. Bear in mind, that's all speculative, and what we're focusing on at the moment definitely is a chance of our first proper heat next week. It has been very warm through the spring, of course, but I think next week could see the temperature getting to 30 degrees, 86 Fahrenheit for the first time this summer. It is possible that it could do. So we shall see, and that's going to be the focus of the videos, of course, in the coming days. Right, got the weekend forecast for America coming up late tonight. That'll be after 11 o'clock. So our weekend forecast for America coming up for tonight. But for today's week's Send-Me update, that's all for now. Don't forget to check out that video from this day last year. And if you didn't see it, then you can witness one of the most extreme GFS runs that you'll ever see. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.